Hey folks, we've built a thing. We think it's for CISOs. The problem it solves is your data's a mess because the conventional way of handling data sucks. I wanted to build a tool that let you take control of your data. I was sick of seeing people's needs for their log data get ignored by vendors because they just wanted to have more data put in their data silos. We built Datable because we saw a need for people to do more with their system data, particularly log data. This data serves multiple purposes. It serves business, security, devs, and it lets you answer questions. Now, the way that the world used to work is if you want to turn signal out of all that noise, you either needed to work with that as the data is generated. This is a really difficult social problem where you have to work with teams and come up with a schema ahead of time, or you throw everything into a bucket and then you go and wrangle very complex queries to normalize that data and find that needle in the haystack. Very time consuming, very slow, quite expensive. We think there should be a different way, a third way. This is stream processing. You have a centralized data pipeline that you send all of your data to. This normalizes all of your data. It makes a common playing field. Think a universal translator for all of your data. You have visibility into all of your data in one place across the entire spectrum. You get to make decisions. I'm going to stick all of it in S3 first and foremost. And then I'm going to peel off the business data to a BI tool. I'm going to send my security data to the SIEM. I'm going to cherry pick the events that I care about, transform them, and add them to my SIEM because they make sense. When it comes to security, the biggest risk is what you don't know. Having a centralized pipeline that collects and normalizes all that data is like drawing back the curtains. You now get to see everything that's being generated within your entire ecosystem. Doing it in stream with context means that you can enrich your data in one place and make decisions about that data instead of having to build these complex, slow, and expensive queries that run, that trigger false positives, that waste your time. You get to move that up in stream and have it live and have it enriched at the moment that it's generated. And that's really cool. So what are the benefits of doing it this way? You're not writing bespoke and custom scripts to go and pull in data from different sources and wrangle these different formats. That is a waste of time, and we have solved it for you. And if there's a format that you need that we don't speak, let us know. We love solving this. So saving you time in normalizing that data. Then we can help you get notifications earlier since it's happening in stream instead of some report that runs once a day. You know, the problem with the data lake is that it's really hard to go and build these reports against that data. There's 1,000 different formats. It's all skewed about. And so your report needs to go and compensate for all of these things, normalize it, and then you can go and trigger an alert when someone geographically hops, for example. By moving that upstream into this pipeline where we've normalized all that data for you, the complexity goes away. And you now have a real-time place where we're able to go and enrich data as it happens for you to go and make decisions. This means you no longer need to wrangle all these different formats. You no longer need to worry about slow running reports. It's all in real time. And because we let you do enrichment, you can minimize those false positives before that alert gets sent out to your team to go and understand, oh, actually, that's just a dude who's moved from New York to San Francisco. This is fine. This improves your security posture because first and foremost, you don't know what you don't know. And having a centralized place for all of that data to travel through in a centralized format gives you that visibility. In addition to that, you can now move faster. You can add more sources, you can normalize that data, and you can act on it faster than ever before. Instead of having to spend weeks in normalizing a data source and building a report, it's now minutes for you to go and do the same thing. In a world where data is growing 30% year on year and the complexity of that data is growing, you need to get that critical signal out of all that data. First and foremost, you don't know what you don't know, so you want all of your data going through one thing. But that's really hard because integrating with all these sources takes time. We've solved that problem. The third way, introducing a streaming pipeline, the way that it works is your job depends on detecting something in your data. This could be someone geographically time traveling, for example. In order to do that, you need data from a whole bunch of different places. They've shown up on GitHub coming from a different country. Oh, but they've passed their two-factor auth through Okta, so it's okay. You need to be able to collect all of this data, and that poses the first problem. Normalizing that data takes time, it takes effort. Once you have that data normalized, you now need to go and build a report. Oh, this person appears to have time traveled. I'm going to trigger an alert. Well, actually, they're just on vacation. They brought their laptop. they've passed that verification. So that false positive, it takes time for you to go in and to check the other signals. I don't have a signal, I need to manually go and check it. There's essentially two ways that we solve these problems now. The first way is treating the data as it's generated, but you're playing whack-a-mole. The second is treating the data when it's at rest, but that is a needle in a haystack. And every query you miss a where clause, that's an engineer's salary that you've accidentally just set on fire by querying too much data. There is a better way, a third way. You do this in stream. You have all of your data centralized and normalized into a single streaming pipeline. This means you no longer need to worry about what you don't know because everything pipes through this one pipeline. It's normalized. That's a unified playing field for you to understand your data. Because you've normalized all of that data, it also has context in stream. You can start doing aggregation and enrichment. You can pull in that Octalog and correlate it against the GitHub log, answer questions in stream before it's at rest. And so instead of having to troll through this big vat of data to answer a question, you can have the answer in one place right in front of you before that alert gets generated. And that's kind of amazing. So ultimately, we believe that your data is unique to you. It's important to you in ways that are different to every single business. So you can't just have tools that tell you, hey, this is how it works, because how it works for them is different to how it works for you. We believe that it's your data, and in order to extract signal out of it, you need the right tools. And we're not there yet. We need to do it better. And that's why stream processing is an easy way for you to go and understand all of the data within your system and make decisions about it. So why is this a better way? Data is growing year on year. If you're completely dependent on treating data where it's generated, you're playing whack-a-mole with teams that aren't your responsibility, and so it's really hard to go and influence and prioritize their time. You can also do this with data at rest, but that data is growing, and every new log line that's generated is another exception into the report, into the query that you need to run, and every query is slowing down as you get more and more data. The better way is stream processing data. This gives you the best of both worlds, where you have all of these data sources get normalized into one place. That's amazing. You're no longer dealing with different teams. You're no longer having to build custom scripts to normalize this data. And you get the benefits of at rest. In stream, we have context. We can enrich data. You can make decisions about that data. You can normalize it all and then decide, I'm going to do a geo-IP lookup. I'm going to go and look for someone who's time traveled. And you don't need to have these slow, cumbersome reports because it's all in the stream. You can make these decisions without compromising on team time or at-rest data. So, I mean, fundamentally, we believe that there is a better way of dealing with the problem of data, of extracting signal out of your data. So the way the world works now, data gets generated, data gets thrown over into a data silo. That data is useful to multiple people. We believe that the future is going to be your blob store for your data. But that's a journey. We're not there yet. The first piece to getting there is introducing a third piece of technology into this data collection stack. It's essentially ETL focused on machine data, allowing you to normalize and enrich and get value out of that data before it's at rest. This addition to the security and operations stack, it's adding value. It's not compromising someone's time in order to normalize or collect more data. And in turn, you're adding value to the data that's at rest. You aren't deducting from any of these places, but you're making it easy for you to make decisions and move faster. It's all about your efficiency. When a report can cost $100,000 because you missed a where clause, or where a team is too bogged down to add a new data source, a centralized pipeline addresses all of these, and what takes weeks for you to go and build and normalize can be done in minutes. What I want is for you to save time in pulling data from any different data source, have it normalized into a common format, and then make decisions on that data. And we wanted to bring the ability for you to bring your business logic, things like MITRE ATT&CK, things like time travel detection, closer and closer to your data so you're faster in making decisions, so that you're faster in alerting, and you're able to reduce false positives. That's what we wanted, and we've built a streaming data pipeline that sits between your data sources and your data destinations to address that. But tell me, does that make sense? I'm gonna grab Whitey knows I'm coming for him. Give me Lofi. So, tell me if I'm nuts.